Hi, I'm Daniel from OLPRO. I'm the founder of OLPRO and one of the directors. Not so long ago, I put together a video answering some of the really frequently asked questions we get asked about our camper van awnings, and we got a really good response to that video. A lot of people saying it was useful, a lot of people saying it answered their particular questions that they had. The questions that we got to answer in that particular video were taken from the questions that we get asked at shows, or the questions that we get asked online most frequently. So I thought, and we kind of got together again, and we thought it might be useful if we did the same again, but this time did it for tents and had a look at some of the OLPRO tents, and again, some of the questions that we get asked quite a lot about our range of tents. So I've got a series of questions here, which again, like the last video, I've not seen the questions before, and I'm just going to work through each one of those and hopefully answer some of the questions that we've been asked. So the first question is, which is the biggest OLPRO tent in terms of size? Okay, so we've now got what we call the Endeavour, which is a 7-berth tent, and in terms of the footprint, the actual floor space that that tent takes up, that's our largest tent. So that's the Endeavour. In terms of the largest tent, in terms of berth, so the number of people who will sleep, then we do the Witchenford, which is a pole tent, and then we also do the Witchenford Breeze, which is the inflatable version of it. So we have those two 8-berth tents, the Witchenford and the Witchenford Breeze, and then we also have the Explorer, the Endeavour, we have the Endeavour, which is our 7-berth tent. And the difference with the Endeavour and the Witchenford is that the Witchenford is what we call a VOV style tent. So the bedrooms are either side of the living space. So you walk into the living space and you've got the bedrooms either side. And obviously you'll see a lot of tents which are that design. And then the Explorer. So the Endeavour, I keep saying Explorer, don't I? The Endeavour is a larger tent in the sense that the living space is what you walk into at the front of the tent, and the bedrooms are all along the back, and that is also a pole tent. But they're our two largest tents. We try, in terms of our tents, to offer a not too confusing number of options when it comes to the different berths. We just try to offer the different options you were going to look for. So, example, with large tents, do you want it to be VOV, or do you want a living space at the front? And I think that kind of then gives people enough options really to choose from. Okay, and of course we listen to people's feedback all the time. So whenever we're developing tents, we take on board what people have said, and new tents that come out are very often born out of what people have told us they want to see in tents. Which is OLPRO's smallest tent in terms of size. Okay, so we've recently launched the Pioneer and the Voyager, and they are two backpacking tents. So these are both 1.6 kg, very, very light, aluminium poles, which compact down very small. The pack itself is suitable to go on any walking backpack, or obviously great if you're on a motorbike or on a cycle. So the Voyager and the Pioneer are our two smallest tents. We then do quite a few small, quite kind of festival weekend tents, like the Nightwick, which is a really popular tent that we've done for a long time now. The Aberley, which we do in a couple of colours. And then we also do a range of pop tents, which are very quick erect, quick to put away, integral pole system within the tent itself. And they're great, again, just for weekends, or if there's just a couple of you going away, you might be staying away longer, but there is just a couple of you, there's just enough room, really, in a pop tent for 2 people. Okay. Are all of OLPRO's tents waterproof? Yes, they are. Every single tent that we make is fully waterproof. The fabric is tested, and it's a system called hydrostatic heads. So what's measured is how much water the fabric can take before it starts to leak. And all of our tents are measured to hold 5 metres of water. So you can put 5 metres of water on top of one of our tents, on top of the fabric, and it will not seep through. So we know that our tent fabrics are fully waterproof, and they're tested as such. The one place where tents can become a little bit prone to leakage is through the seams. So this is where all tents are obviously stitched, where you'll see one panel stitched to another panel. And what we do to ensure the integrity of those seams, we tape them. So we seam seal all of those positions. So all along where the stitching is, you'll see there's a thin tape, which is obviously see through, but you can just see it, which then covers up any of the stitching, and that makes sure that all the tents are fully waterproof. If you ever get a problem with a tent, the first place to have a look is really just along the seam, just to see if there's something that's come away or something that that's maybe not been done right in the first place. And that's why it's always worth testing a tent before you go away. It can be a very, very small thing, and often to fix it, if you've got an old tent and you've got a point where it is leaking, it's through a seam, you can readily buy seam sealer and just repair that yourself, to put the tape back over, and that will deal with it. Actual tent fabric itself does take a long time to become, kind of prone to leakage in any way. So they're all tested and they're all fully waterproof. The only products that we do which are not seam sealed are our toilet tents. Because they fold down, the way that they fold means that the sealant that goes on the seams wouldn't hold. So they are waterproof, the actual fabric is itself, but along the seams you're always likely to get a little bit of water ingress there. But even with those, it's got to be quite a lot of rain before you start to see any sort of issue. And of course, they can be very easily put away by the very nature of them. Okay, that brings us nicely on to question number 4. Do OLPRO's tents cope well in adverse weather? They do. Tents are remarkably resilient when it comes to the British weather, but obviously there always comes a point where you are much better and much safer not to be camping, and that can obviously mean having to put a tent away. All of our tents are tested, they're wind tested, they're tested up to 50 miles an hour, but we would always recommend that when you start to get wind between 30 and 40 miles an hour, it is going to start to be an issue for tents. And that's kind of the cautionary kind of speed, I would say. I think to kind of go against that a little bit, I would say whenever you're pitching a tent, make sure that you're not in a wide open space, you're somewhere where you're reasonably sheltered, so you've got that protection against the side of the tent as well. Also as well, if it gets windier, then all of our tents have an excess of guy lines on them, so guy everything out that you can. Obviously, when you got to site, you might have just pegged it out quickly and not worried too much about the guy lines. So I would recommend going back around and making sure that everything's guyed out as best it can be. And also on a lot of our products, particularly all the Breeze product that we do, all the inflatable product, they all come with storm straps as well. So if you've got, and it can either be one of the tents or the camper van awnings, if there is wind getting out, then go and put the storm straps out as well, just make sure that the awning or the tent is secure. And as I say, in many winds, and we've got a really good speeded up video on our YouTube channel showing one of our awnings in particularly bad weather. You can see it does stand up well, and they will do. It's just about common sense, I think, really, about when to abandon camp, or at least when to just make sure that you're going to be safe, staying where you are. But the tents themselves, that they're all tested and they should be absolutely fine. We know the majority of our tents are sold in the UK. We know what the weather's like in the UK, so we do kind of build that into the design of them. Okay, has OLPRO won any awards for its tents? We have. Again, I think we do get asked things like this along the lines of how can we be sure that what we're buying is going to be good. We've got a lot of customer recommendations now. People have bought and used our tents and come back and been very kind and left great reviews, just honest reviews. If there's something they've not liked, and again they're all on the website for you to see and kind of work your way through. In terms of awards, the main awards are the ones issued by the Camping magazine, and I would say that every year since we started manufacturing tents, so for the last 5-6 years, we've won an award. We've won an award every year for one of our new tents. Normally highly commended or best in a particular category. And again, they're all listed on our website. So if you go on our website, you come across a tent. Very often there'll be a stamp by it from the Camping magazine, or I believe there is a place on our website. I think it's under About Us. where a lot of our awards are listed. And again, the sort of commendations and awards for tents are listed there as well. We've also been given various awards by newspapers, The Independent and The Guardian spring to mind, about kind of best festival tents and things and stuff like that. So across the board, a lot of our tents have won awards over the years. Okay. Can you loan out a tent instead of buying one? You can. So we've just introduced, probably about a month ago now, 2 months ago, a system called OLPRO Loan and Go. So if you're unsure about buying a tent, or you don't need a tent for that long, you're not a camper, for example, but you've got to go somewhere and attend, it might be a festival or an event, and you just want to borrow a tent, then we do have a range of tents which we loan out. So from the OLPRO range, all you need to do is go onto our website, click on Loan and Go, which is in the top menu, and it will take you through a range of tents. And we do everything from 2-berth right up to the large 8-berth, and also the camper van awnings. You can borrow any of those tents. The duration options are 3-day period or a 7-day period, and you get a day's grace either side of that. So if you were to borrow on a 3-day, so you're using it, you're going to be going away Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your actual loan period would be from Thursday through to Monday. So you've got a day on Thursday, you can maybe put up the tent and kind of check it all out. Or you can, and obviously then on Monday, it gives you time, you might go back to work and everything, but time to then ship it back to us as well, because obviously we supply the label. You just need to pop it to the post office and it comes back to us. So it's a really simple method. It's really, really easy to go through. So it's really quick just to borrow a tent. And again, if you're unsure about whether you want to buy a particular tent, you can actually borrow it. And then as part of the loan, you will get a message whilst you're borrowing the tent asking if you want to buy it, and which you just pay the balance on it. So it's quite an easy way to sort of test something out before you buy it as well. Okay, which tents are included in OLPRO Loan and Go? I think I kind of said just then that most of them are. So we picked from 2-berth to the 8-berth, we sort of picked at least one from every different particular berth range. And if there is something there that we don't do, then by all means get in contact with us and we can look at that for you. But they're all OLPRO tents, and they're all, when you borrow a tent from us, we don't lend them out that often, so you're not getting a tent that's been used and used and used. It just gets used a few times. So from that point of view, you are really getting to try a new or very, very nearly new OLPRO tent. Okay, how long is the warranty on OLPRO's tents? So this year we extended the warranty. We're very pleased with the quality of the products that we produce. We work hard at it, and we believe it's one of the key features of OLPRO that we're producing quality product. So what we decided to do was to extend the warranty. So it's always been a year on all of our products, all of our canvas products, so our tents and our camper van awnings. We've extended the warranty now to 2 years. So that means that within that 2 years, if something that's covered under warranty fails because the manufacturer's fault, then come back to us and we will deal with that for you. But even beyond warranty, we always try to help people. So we'd like to think that when you bought an OLPRO product, it's going to last you a very, very good period of time, depending obviously on usage. And we'd like to help you to be able to keep using it as well. So by all means, if there are any issues, then just come back to us. And we've got customers now from 5-6 years ago that we obviously we talk to quite a lot, because they've got old OLPRO product and they're still using it. They're still very happy with it. Okay, which OLPRO tents include a skylight? Okay, now I'm probably going to get this one wrong now. It's a bit of a test. The Orion definitely does. So the Orion's our poled 6-berth tent, which can also be adapted into a 3-berth with a really big living space. That's a fantastic tent. And then the other one, it's the one that I keep getting mixed up before. So it's the Explorer, which is our 4-berth inflatable tent. So before, the big one was the Endeavour that I was talking about, the large tent that we do. It's Explorer is the one with all of the skylights in it, and it's a great tent. So the Explorer during the day. When you go in there, you can open up all the roof lights. It just lets all the daylight in. And then on an evening when you've got it open, obviously you can stargaze. Or on an evening you can close it all up. It's nice and snug in there. Or obviously if it's raining or not great weather, you can close it as well. But it's great. It's like having basically windows on the roof, isn't it? But it's so good to be able to see all around you. And I would say those two tents are particularly good. So that's the questions I've been given. If you've got any questions about OLPRO Tents, then by all means ask them in the feed here on our YouTube channel, or give us a call. Our phone number's on the website. There's also a contact us form on there by which you can contact us and we will reply. And that contact us form is there all the time. Our office hours are between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday. So if you contact us in that time, the response should be pretty quick. Also on our website, you'll see at the bottom corner that there is a little speech bubble, and that allows you to talk to us directly during those office hours. So between 9 and 5, if you catch us on that online chat, you'll be talking to a real person. If you talk to us outside of those hours, you'll be talking to a real robot. But it's a robot that we've programmed and told it lots of things, so it can answer many questions. But if there's just something you need to know that's not answered by that, then by all means get in contact with us. You can also contact us on social media as well. We're always around on kind of Facebook, Instagram, a little bit on Pinterest and Twitter as well. So by all means, if I haven't answered your question on tents or on any other subject, then by all means ask us on any of those different methods. Thank you.